Throughout the years, I've been relentless when it comes to hating Fire Emblem Fates. But at the same time, I've had many brave people in the comments telling me stuff like, "Oh, I don't care about your opinion, I still love the hell out of that game." And to that I tell you,
your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill.
I'm kidding. You know what I actually think? Good for you, honestly. I think it's amazing that you guys were able to make your own opinion, regardless of how questionable it is.
Fire Emblem Fates isn't the only example. There's plenty of games out there that are considered bad, are mixed, or even hated by the community. So for this video, I wanted to give spotlight to that. For as weird as it is, every game has its fans, and I think there's something awesome about that. That's why I ask friends from social media, Discord, or even the YouTube community tab to submit their craziest and most controversial opinions. Sure, we might not agree with many of the comments we'll see here, but again, I think it's cool that these people were able to make their own opinion and find the good in something many others despise.
So without further ado, this is the bad video games that we love.
For this video, there's plenty Pokemon games I could choose from, like anything from Gen 6 onwards. But just to avoid any Game Freak deep throwers in the comments, here are some games we all can agree aren't exactly good. The Virtual Pet Pikachu games, Hey You Pikachu and Pokemon Channel. These ones were mentioned a few times when I asked for suggestions. In these games, you don't really do anything, it's like, you spend some time with Pikachu, do some activities, and that's it. You just watch stuff happen. I myself grew up with Pokemon Channel, but here's what some friends think about them. Sean says, Channel is much better than Hey You Pikachu, but something about being in the Pokemon world with Pikachu doing absolutely dumb shit was like amazing to me as a kid. My friends and I will sit around the TV with the N64 and just say the weirdest things to Pikachu just to see what will happen. And I will straight up be these games' biggest defender because of the joy they gave me growing up. Honestly, I can empathize with that. While these games are short and a bunch of nothing, they undoubtedly had a ton of charm. And I personally had a ton of fun finding new channels, buying merchandise, and watch that Pichu Bros short. Deadly Premonition is a game I know almost nothing about, other than it is objectively bad. Yet, it has so many fans to the point it has become a cult classic of sorts. My online brother Josh, also known as the Icky Sticky, is one of the biggest fans I know of that game, and naturally he was the first person to show up when I brought up this video idea. And here's what he has to say. Deadly Premonition is easily the best bad game I've ever played. The game itself runs like it was made by Yandere Dev, with audio randomly being poorly mixed while driving in the car. The engine is so much louder than anything else, or how would you have characters talking animations not syncing properly? With dialogue itself being on par with Resident Evil 1 quips. It's heavily inspired by Twin Peaks, as well as Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and other horror games. What's insane is if you can choke through some of the most confusing, chugging gameplay, deep down, the story and characters written are unparalleled and unlike anything else I've seen or felt in games. Balan Wonderworld is a game so bad that its creator was sent to prison due to how bad it was, and I'm pretty sure that arrest is completely unrelated to some sort of insider's trading within Square Enix. Cause fuck Square Enix! Yet, even if this game sent some guy to prison, I've seen some people find enjoyment out of it. My friend Dylan, also known for drawing my Pizza Tower thumbnails, is one of them. And here's what he thinks. I hated Balan Wonderworld when the demo came out. I was completely let down and disappointed with it. It then released around a time where I desperately needed a distraction from the real world, and so I thought, fuck it, and bought it. I don't know what changed, but the game's design choices didn't bother me at all anymore. I find the one-button gameplay to be kinda fun in a puzzle-solving way, especially with the massive amount of costumes near the end of the game. Being able to break the level design with any costume is genuinely entertaining. Every costume not being able to jump is an abnormal design choice, but it's honestly a non-issue when the game is designed around not being able to jump. The bosses are also some of the best parts of the game, they are also like a puzzle to figure out. It's a very obtuse game, full of baffling design choices, and can be tedious a lot of the times, but I adore it all. The music and aesthetics and character designs are also whimsical and fun. It gave me a feeling of childlike whimsy that I desperately needed when the world felt the most cruel and punishing at the time, and I'll forever thank the game for it. Frisket from the community tab has a submission I found very charming. They know this game sucks, but said game has some glimmers of love and passion that they just can't help but love it. They said, "I'll always have a special spot in my heart for Godzilla vs for PS4. It's a game that was clearly rushed and you can feel that when you see its monotonous maps, slow and boring gameplay, and especially its low frame rate. The thing is, there's a lot of love for the Godzilla franchise put into it. The roster is amazing, including many variants of the G himself, as well as others like Mechagodzilla, and even some obscure but still beloved monsters like Hedorah and Jet Jaguar. The game really respects the Godzilla lore and universe, and you can see it when you play its story mode and check its many references. It's not a game I recommend to anyone, but considering everything I said, it's a gem I appreciate having in my own game shelf."
Ah! Alright, I knew I was gonna be forced to do this in this video, but... let's give Fire Emblem Fates a new chance, okay? You never know! Maybe someone out there will give me a more than convincing argument on why they like the game. Jared says...
Fire Emblem Fates, and the only reason I will defend it to the end of the world. Here's one that caught my attention. I'm not the most hardcore Mega Man fan out there, but even I know that some of the absolute worst games in the franchise are X6 and X7. And would you believe both games got a few fans? My friend Icy Hunter has this to say about X6. "I'm probably the only person who actually likes it. The game has some nice flow to it in spite of the more questionable design choices, like the nightmare system, which I actually like due to giving you an incentive to think about how you tackle each stage. Or you can blaze through one of the secret areas and fight the satanic abomination known as High Max and go straight to the end of the game. Yeah, it has problems, like the aforementioned nightmare system, the immensely screwy localization, and the atrocious at points level design, but I can't help but call it my favorite in the X series. As for X7, Jota-kun adds, "Anyone who knows this game already understands why it's terrible. Mechanics that don't translate well to 3D, and nothing story, it's glitchy, slow, the voice acting is hilariously bad, and Flame Honey Art exists." But somehow, I still like this game for various reasons. It introduced Axel, who's one of my favorite characters, and he feels like a legit add-on to the Hunter's dynamic. It introduced the Hunter teams, in which you could select 2 playable characters at a time and switch between them in the middle of a mission. It has a great soundtrack, and in the end, I had fun in some way or another. And that's what matters to me. Is it bad? Yes, but I think it's worth playing it at least once to appreciate the other games better.
Since the only Mega Man X game I've ever played is one, my opinions on X6 and X7 are based on what some call me Johnny said on his videos years ago. Still, I think it's cool that these people can find something enjoyable out of something extremely broken. Now, if you excuse me, I need to take a break, and I sure hope my roommate won't sneak in his own opinion while I'm gone.
Sonic 06! Look, everybody already knows why the game's bad, and thanks to Project 06, a lot more people acknowledge how great the game could have been if Sega had given the devs more time and resources, so I'm not going to waste any of my time on that. Instead, I'm going to talk about what's already good about the game and why I love it despite all of its flaws. Unfortunately, Luis is only going to give me so much time here, so I gotta go fast. Much like Sonic Heroes, the stages do a great job at paying homage to past Sonic aesthetics while still doing enough new things with the visual theming to feel fresh. The levels themselves are for the most part well designed, spacious, and fun to traverse thanks to being designed with multiple characters in mind, just like SA1, and thanks to Sonic's busted-ass power-ups having unlimited usage, you can easily skip almost any annoying parts of stages and come up with some really hilarious speedruns. And last but certainly not least, when the story is good, it's absolute kino. Shadow's the best his character has ever been. Silver's arc and development made him a favorite of mine, design, and the way all the branching stories converge into what I still consider the coolest finale in the entire franchise is... it's fucking peak.
You shouldn't even have to mention the music. But while I'm here,
I hate when people sneak into my videos, but you know what I hate more? Paper Mario Sticker Star.
Fuck this game. It sucks, it's terrible, and I don't like it. It's so bad that I have never been motivated to try the sequels Color Splash and The Origami King. I cannot speak for myself if these two are good or bad, but there's no doubt that modern Paper Mario is super mixed among fans. Well, my friend Shockwave wanted to share something with us. Paper Mario Color Splash. I really like this game for what it's worth, despite the glaring issues it has, like pointless battles, lack of EXP, and the boss battles which the game gives you none or second to none hints on how to beat them, even though they designed them as puzzles, and if you don't figure it out, you can't win!
These are some of the main reasons as to why I hated Sticker Star so much. Still, he continues.
Despite all of that, I find the game to be quite charming and enjoyable, and the world is full of charm and color. And that's because of the incredible writing the game has. It's full of jokes, puns, personality, and also Huey. He's a fun guy, sassy, funny, useful, unlike Kirsty, and a joy to have. The music, the card animations, and the references to other Mario games are really good and well made. Overall, I'd say while the game has some mediocre mechanics, at best it's still an enjoyable and charming adventure.
I'm not an expert in Soulsborne games, I've only played Bloodborne, and yes, it is a masterpiece! Even then, I've always been aware that Dark Souls 2 is the most polarizing game in the franchise. Why? I don't know, but maybe my friend Pixel can shed some light on that.
Dark Souls 2 is considered the experimental cast-out brother of the Dark Souls trilogy, heavily disliked for its enemy placement, new mechanics, unforgiving nature, and its graphics, which, funny enough, are most of the reasons that I love it. Dark Souls 2 is by far the hardest in the trilogy, and it actually lives up to the name. Unlike 1 and 3, it's also the only game to have aged well graphically. Yes, I really said that. There is the occasional bad area, but listen. All Dark Souls games have bad areas. You're not unique for saying it has a bad poison level. DS2 is probably the most influential entry in the Dark Souls series, and it deserves more praise than it gets. And if you're a hater of DS2 and a fan of Elden Ring, I'd say you should give Dark Souls 2 another chance because you'll probably love it now.
Here's one I 100% empathize with because it hits so close to home. My friend Maxi says,
Final Fantasy XV is genuinely one of my favorite games despite hearing a lot of people talk about what a huge disappointment it is. You can tell that the later half of the story was rushed, and the story elements being locked behind DLC that you have to play after the story makes it awkward. That being said, there's something about just going on a road trip with the boys that endears you to their characters so much. While there are some great show-stopping moments and battles, such as the summons, I really just live for the mundane little moments. Fishing and camping and just running around while they joke around with each other makes them feel so real. I care about the main plot because of those little characterization moments making me get attached to the party, and that makes the ending all more heartbreaking.
You know, I have this friend named Santos, and he is the most contrarian person I've ever met. He dislikes Pizza Tower. How do you think that makes me feel? Still, we remain good friends, and he's perhaps the only contrarian person I can tolerate. And that is because in the past he gifted me some copies of Judgment and Lost Judgment.
Lewis, are you really gonna accept the contrarian just because he gave you 2 video games?
Well, yeah! Have you guys ever played Lost Judgment? If you did, then you will understand why I keep being friends with a contrarian. But anyway, he was the perfect candidate for this video, so let's see what his submission is.
Little Town Hero.
Oh fucking hell, Santos.
It's a game that is hated because it supposedly took development time away from Pokémon Sword and Shield. Seeing the quality of Pokémon games currently, I no longer think that is the case.
Okay, fine, I actually kinda agree with him on that.
Okay, so, the few people who try the game hate the gameplay as a whole and think everything is confusing and difficult to get into. While I do agree with Little Town Hero not being beginner friendly, as at first even I struggled to understand the game, once I gave it some time, stuck with it and learned the game, it's probably one of the most satisfying and unique RPGs I've ever played, and nothing I played is like it. Also, the design is beautiful and cute. I do like the little town setting as it's integral to the gameplay and worth, and the music by Toby Fox and Hitomi Sato is incredible and criminally underlistened.
I don't get you, man, but still, thank you so much for giving me the Judgment games. They changed my life. But anyway, I think it's time I finish this video by talking about my own personal favorite bad game. Yakuza Dead Souls.
There's no way around it. This game sucks so hard because it just straight up doesn't work. Yakuza Dead Souls is one of the most generic third-person shooters I've ever played. It's not satisfying, it's frustrating, and it is broken. You have 4 different playable characters, and all of them play exactly the same. There's a commendable enemy variety, but all the zombies are so annoying and will give you shit for different reasons. This game is also infamous because it was so bad, and it sold so poorly that it almost killed the Yakuza series in the West. Yet, when I think about this game, I remember all the good stuff it has. It excels in the fanservice department. You can have Majima and Akiyama taking down huge monsters. You have those fantastic moments of Ryuji working alongside Kiryu. The story is ridiculous, but it takes itself so seriously that it loops back into being awesome. And the zombie apocalypse setting opens the doors to have some insanely funny sub-stories. From recording a low-budget zombie movie, get scammed over a zombie cure, dating a zombie hostess, and sure, even if most enemies are beyond annoying to fight, I can't deny how much I love their designs, they're so cool. I like this game. It's so bad, but the good things it has makes it hard not to love. There's a reason I once dedicated a whole video to it in the past, and even continue to mention it on this channel from time to time. This is a bad game that any Yakuza fan can enjoy. Actually, fuck it. I'll give my controversial opinion now. This game left a more positive impact on me than Yakuza 5, aside from the Shinada story. There, I said it, and I'm dead serious about that.
So now, tell me, is there something you agree with on this video? Do you have a bad game that you really enjoy? Then please, let me know in the comments. And don't be ashamed, at least for this video, there will be no bad opinions, because even if a game is hated by many, if you like it, that's awesome! Because at the end of the day, it was your experience and you came up with your own opinion. And I think that's very special. But anyway, thank you so much for your time, I really hope you enjoyed the video. And well, if you can support the channel, you know, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, or Patreon, wink wink wink, that will mean a lot to me. And hey, if you like this video format, maybe in the future I can make more videos where you guys make your own contributions. But only time will tell. Have a wonderful day, and take care! I'll see you next time!